Hey kids, wanted to come out to my car real quick for a second and have a brief conversation with you about a topic that I think is very important because it can impact your life. And at first I didn't plan on speaking to you guys about it. I planned on keeping it a secret because it's something that I didn't want to influence your life. And because, my mother, your grandmother, she it's clearly something that I think is inherited, genetic, if you will. And I know that she suffered from it as well, and she was very vocal about it, not in a positive way though. And because of that, I felt that maybe talking to you guys about it wouldn't be a good thing, because sometimes I would think that by her talking to me about it and saying it and mentioning it, that maybe because of that I superimposed the thought and the idea into my mind. But I'm starting to think that maybe that's not the case, and it makes sense for you to know about it, so I'm going to tell you. So it's probably not going to come as a surprise, but I've been battling and struggling with depression and anxiety, and in the past with obsessive compulsive behaviors. And the topic that I want to specifically discuss, though, is depression and anxiety. And today is I think, a good example of that topic, which is why I wanted to specifically bring it up today. It's Monday, March 4th or 5th, March 5th, 2018. And when I stop and I look at my life, there's very, very little for me to be sad or upset about. I have the perfect job. My career is exactly what I wanted. I visualized this exact position, and I have it. I'm doing well financially, growing, and education-wise, I'm going to Harvard and pursuing my dream of theological studies there. And shit, it's Harvard. I mean, that alone has me happy and excited. I have an amazing wife, your mother, who is, it's so hard to explain how wonderful and amazing she is. And just thinking about her sometimes, brings feelings of tears, to me, because she's that amazing. And I'm so thankful for her and in love with her. I have you guys. I'm not the best dad, that's for sure. And I know that parenting is frustrating, but still you guys are, an amazing gem in my life. And ignore that call. An amazing gem in my life. There's nothing that at the moment I regret. My life, there are things in my life that I've done that I'm not proud of, that's for sure. And there have been times in the past where I've felt sad because of my regrets, because of poor decisions that I've made, because I've hurt your mother, as an example. But now that's in the past. And your mother and I are in a fantastic place. We're a really, really good place. So there's nothing for me to be sad about. I don't have any bad behaviors that I'm acting out on right now. My job isn't at risk. My health isn't at risk. Your health isn't at risk. There's nothing for me to really be upset about. But yet, today, I have like this cloud of sadness. I'm sad. And your grandmother would sometimes say to me, like in the middle of the day, like, I feel so sad, she would say. And I kind of understand, because that's kind of how I feel. Now, in your grandmother's case, I do believe that it was certainly something genetic, but at the same time caused by her in many ways. She never addressed the issue of anxiety and depression in a therapeutic or medical form. She always thought that it was ridiculous to do that, until recently. I suspect that recently she actually has been seeing a psychiatrist. But I'm going to pause the video here for a second, just so that it's easy to edit out words. So I left off on the topic of your grandmother and how she disagreed with the idea of therapy and psychiatric medicine to assist with issues of depression and anxiety. But lately, she has been showing signs that she has been seeing someone, and she's actually become a better person, easier to deal with, significantly. So I'm convinced she's seeing someone professionally. But back to you guys. I'm sharing this information with you because I want you to be aware of this reality. Because as you get older, it might start in your teenage years, you might feel sad for absolutely no reason. And there are going to be times in which you feel sad with great reason. But those moments when you feel sad for no reason, that is the time where I need you to really understand the fundamentals of what's going on here. In our case, I strongly believe that it is genetic. I strongly believe that there's a chemical element to it as well. And I also believe that a large part of it has to do with sleep, or a lack thereof. Right now, I am on medicine. I take something called Lexapro. I think it's 20 milligrams that I take. And another pill called naltrexone. I take 50 milligrams of that. The Lexapro is for my depression and anxiety. The naltrexone is for my former obsessive compulsive behaviors. And I 1,000,000% believe that my ability to overcome my previous obsessive compulsive behaviors is truly because of the medicine that I'm taking. Because I've been to therapy for over 25 years, and I've seen, pastors, I've gone to church-based therapy, I've seen Christian therapists, I've been to every possible imaginable form of cognitive-based therapy. I've read self-help books, self-hypnosis, and although it helps, it was not in itself an all-in-all solution. What I needed and started to finally receive was psychiatric medicine, Lexapro and naltrexone. But even with that, there are days in which I find myself in a funk. Now, today's funk might be due to the fact that I haven't taken my naltrexone for 2 days because I ran out of pills and I didn't get a refill yet. I'm going to get it today. So that's possible. That's why I feel shitty today. But there have been other days, I'd say 2 to 3 days a month, in which, even though I'm on the medicine and have nothing to really worry about, I will feel sad. Maybe not 2 to 3 days, 1 to 2 days. And without cause, that is, okay? That I'll feel sad. So what I've realized is that when that happens, when I don't have a cause, when nothing in my life is going wrong, when I'm not in a vicious cycle of obsessive compulsive disorders, when I'm not feeling guilty about something, when I'm not going through a hard time with something work-wise or school-wise or whatever, or a disappointment, what I have found is the common theme is a lack of proper sleep. I have very poor sleeping habits. I usually go to sleep or go to bed. It varies. Sometimes I've gone to bed like at, now I'm going to sleep a little bit better. Like I usually will be asleep by 12. But I don't always wake up at the same time every day. Actually, I don't wake up at the same time every day. Because of my job and the flexibility that I have, and that I don't have to be in at any specific time, I usually sleep late and wake up whenever I want to. And that's bad, because I don't have a sleeping pattern. And because I don't have a sleeping pattern, my body isn't getting enough rest. And also, when I sleep, there are other bad things that I might do that affects my sleep during sleep. For example, last night, we went out to Noches de Colombia, and I had a pretty big meal late at night. It was maybe around 8 o'clock. And we walked around, and, I really didn't feel too full, but it was a big meal. And all night, I was waking up. I woke up several times at night. I had to move to the sofa and sleep on the sofa because I didn't want to wake up your mom, because I was coughing from the acid reflux from having eaten so much. I'm going to pause for a second and come back. So the point being that poor habit of eating late had me waking up throughout the entire night. So I slept probably a good 6.5 hours last night, but that 6.5 hours was interrupted sleep. And then, of course, since I had an early morning appointment, I couldn't sleep later into the day to catch up with the lack of proper sleep. And hence, today, I find myself in a depressive state. So in conclusion, I want, if you guys ever feel that you're sad for no reason, understand that it's not anything wrong with you in the judgmental sense. You're still a great person, a beautiful person. You're a normal person. But there is a chemical imbalance within us that we have to address. Now, if you are addressing that chemical imbalance through a psychiatrist and taking medicine, that helps. But you still find yourself in a funk every now and then, look at your sleeping habits. Because more than likely, that is what is creating that moment of sadness. And I would also recommend taking a nap. I bet you that if I drove somewhere in a parking lot and, pushed my car seat back and slept for a half hour, 45 minutes, whatever my body wanted, that I would wake up and feel great, because I've done that before and it works very well. So maybe take a nap if you can. Also remember that this too shall pass. I also find that, most times, like when I leave work and then, I go do something, maybe get like a massage or something, maybe go to Best Buy to look for an electronic to buy, that I usually feel good. But don't make your happiness, don't let it be found in other things like electronics. You have to find happiness internally. And part of how you do that is by addressing the thoughts that you're feeling. And, I strongly disagree with the theology of Buddhism. They're wrong theologically, in my opinion. But in practice, meditation is something that I think makes sense. The Eightfold Path of Buddhism, with some exceptions, I think helps when it comes to dealing with a lot of life issues. Now, I am not a Buddhist. However, I do see some value in some of the practices, like meditating, like focusing on your breath, like realizing that things change in life. Okay? They call it impermanence. They take it to a too large of a level where everything is impermanent. I don't necessarily agree with that, but this feeling I have is impermanent. The argument that I had last night with someone at church that made me feel bad because it was truly a misunderstanding, that's impermanent. Probably when I watch this video myself a year from now, I won't remember what the argument was. Everything is impermanent, so if we can remind ourselves that this too shall pass, it'll help us cope. And if we could focus on positive thoughts, positive energy, focus on our breath, focus on the great things that we have to celebrate, that will help us as well. So focus on your sleep. Think about all the good things that you have around you. See a psychiatrist. Take medicine. Find a good one and be patient with that process, because it took me years to find a good psychiatrist and years to find the right medicine, but it was worth it. Love you guys. And if you're watching this and I'm not around because I passed on, just know that I recorded this because I love you with all my heart. And even in death, I'm with you. Don't be surprised if I'm sitting right next to you, watching this video with you. Because in death, I will be with you guys. I will follow you guys around and watch you, and if I can, protect you, because I love you. And I love your mother, and I'll be with her too. Stupid camera keeps turning off. It's very frustrating. What is happening? Alright, well right now it's staying on. Alright, so I'm going to try to talk now. So, as I was saying, leaving work, and I feel better. So I figured it made sense to record. Let's try this again. So I figured it makes sense to record why I feel better. I think it's because I I was working with one of my bankers who didn't do a good job in profiling, and he put a, a shitty appointment on my calendar. And rather than chastise him, I figured out how can I help him become a better profiler, meaning find out more information about the people he's putting on my calendar. And I created a list of questions, short questions, and a short list of stuff that I want him to ask people and that I want him to put on my calendar before he schedules the appointment. And then when I spoke with him, I treated it not as a moment of chastisement or saying what he did wrong with the last appointment that he put on my calendar, which was really a crappy appointment. Instead, I said to him that I wanted him to start using this questionnaire because I believe that it'll help him with becoming a better profiler, which will help him in becoming the broker that he wants to become in the future. So in other words, rather than focus on the negative, I focused on the positive and what speaks to him, what interests him, and what motivates him. And of course, I mentioned, you know, as an example, you know, the appointment we had on Saturday with Jill Peterson. She only had $19,000 in the 401k rollover and just $2,000 here with us at the bank. No outside assets. So, you know, maybe this is an opportunity for us to be able to ask some more specific questions, so that way anyone you put on my calendar, you have a good full understanding of who they are, which will ultimately help you become a better broker in the future. So the moral of the story is, you know, people oftentimes are not willing to admit when they're wrong or say that they're wrong. And even if they are willing to admit when they're wrong and say that they're wrong, many times it'll hurt their feelings and demotivate them to think about how they did a shitty job. And because of that, the best approach is to speak about what interests them and to position things in a capacity of their motivations, and position it is something that will help them versus you did this wrong. Instead, think to yourself, how can you help them not do that thing wrong anymore? And then give them instruction as to how not to do the thing wrong anymore, but give it to them in a way as if you're doing it and they're doing it, so that they can become better people in some capacity that interests them. That's all for now. Hopefully that helps you. So I'm in the Garden State Plaza Mall, and I'm going to go to The Art of Shaving. I don't know if I recorded before when I bought all this crap. I regret it though. I spent like close to $200 on shaving shit. At the end of the day, I'm not even using it. It cuts my face, irritates my face. It was a bad buy. It was an emotional buy. It was a buy that I made because I wasn't feeling too good, and that's why you shouldn't do stuff like that. So hopefully I'll be able to return it and get a good portion of my money back. Alright kids, I'm washing my face. I do this on a frequent basis because I don't like shaving. It takes up too much time, so I'd rather just wax. It lasts almost 3 weeks or more. Hurts a little bit. I'll take out the hair on the bottom myself. But yeah, have fun watching this, huh? Assuming that you kind of watch it. Try not to laugh. Oh, I mean, it hurts. The first time I did this, I actually peed on myself a little bit. And now I'm pretty much used to it. Not so bad. Here comes the first one. Try not to think about it. Try not to think about it. La-di-da-di-da-da-da. Oh, memoria.
Y no se vino todo como está grueso.
Oh yeah? Ugh. That sucks. Then they gotta take it out.
Voy a hacer.
Okay.
Solo esa pastora, jalones.
See? Uh-oh. That means they gotta take it out with the pinzas.
Not bad. I'll take it out with the pinzas.
Alright, I have finished waxing my upper lip. Now I'm gonna go return this garbage to the Art of Shaving. See if I can get my money back. Unwilling to. So the Art of Shaving was unwilling to return my product as anticipated. So I still have the stuff here. And they are now all of a sudden requiring that I have a receipt. And at the same time that saying that I can't return the items that I was told that I could return. So we're gonna try again tomorrow and see whether or not that will work, and if not, then we're gonna have a huge issue with the Art of Shaving. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Getting 15 to 20 minute massage, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see. I got my massage and now I'm heading home. I'm starving. El pinche fijo no sabe qué hacer cuando me ve. ¿Dónde está papi? 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 Ay, chupa.
Papi, ¿y te los llevas?
No way. ¿Dónde están? Where are they? No, they're not. In the hallway? No, they're not.
Sí, afuera.
Bullshit. No. What's up, guys? ¿Afuera dónde? No, they're not. You're lying to me. They're probably hiding somewhere. Frijo, find those kids. Han de estar debajo de la cama. Ah, I found Michael. I found Michael. And I found Isabella too.
Can you have an apple with me?
I just got here.
Daddy! Because I went downstairs to have an apple with my friend, but Bella's friends ruined it.
Why did they ruin it?
Because they took the ammo.
Because he was playing with Nikita, and then my friend Zora took the ammo and gave it to Nikita.
Yeah.
Why did she give it to Nikita?
I don't know.
Wait, was Nikita fighting or shooting with you in the Nerf?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
She took all my ammo and then I had nothing.
Well, that's what Nerf Force.
but you gotta help your brother then.
But I was playing with slime
With slime.
on the couch.
Sorry, brother.
Can you guys do the passport?
I just got here. Can I take my coat off? My coat is still on. I haven't even eaten.
¿De la chuleta?
No.
Get you first.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My husband's still cold.
Come on, you derpiness.
Oh yeah, Michael, you sound derpy when you're small.
Yeah.
Alright, let's try. What happened?
This is like Oreo milk.
What?
There's chips on it.
What, the milk you just drank?
Let me go just drink. Tastes like Oreo. Milk.
I brought one of the papers and I was like, sure. And then she's like, you guys have to share. And then while we were like looking at the papers, Ella had to go to principal's office. I guess because we were talking. But,
Well, if it was because you were talking, how come you didn't have to go?
because I wasn't talking.
So she was just talking to herself?
No, she was talking to me, but I decided like not to talk back, but I listened.
Take that out.
We're in Hillsong United with food.
That's what you see for dinner every day.
Dale difícil. Iba a tener una fiesta.
In her house. In her house.
Joy.
Yeah.
But Bella has to go by herself.
No, I don't.
Because I'm not coming.
I'm alright with that.
Wait, what?
I'm not going.
You don't have to go. Papi, eat your food.
Wait, can one of you come with me?
Maybe.
Mine's Father's Sunday. This is the last I'm gonna ask.
Maybe this weekend.
More fun.
On Sunday, since it's Father and Sunday.
That's not a bad idea.
Wednesday? Miss knows.
Tu cabecita parece esta, Michael. La hermosa.
King Kong.
No, this is King Kong. King Kong.
Muñeco feo. Una bola de pelo. Ay, no. Thank you.
Thank you for being my son.
Thank you for being my dad.